Hey everyone, it's the 4-Gun Guy, and this is another in my Walker County bench rest match season finale series. That's a mouthful. But this was the 4th stage in that match, and this stage fouled 2 very good shooters up that were in my squad, and I believe it did what it did to them in some of the other 7 squads. So I'm going to put the course of fire up here on the screen, and we're going to read this together. Shooter may take up any position they choose on the triple roof, right here, and engage the square KYL rack with 1 round from left to right, hit to advanced to the next KYL rack target. After 1 shot on that KYL rack, you will alternate the troop line of targets and return to the KYL for the next shot. In other words, you're going to shoot the KYL. If you hit the first square on the KYL, great. You'll go to the first of these other targets, shoot it. Troop line is hit or miss. So if you miss it, that's fine. You've just missed it. When you get back to the KYL, for example, let's say you hit the first KYL square, but you missed the second one. Well, you go to the second duck, and then you go back to the second KYL square because you missed it. So this was a huge mental stage. The other thing about this stage was there was some question about starting on the KYL, which would only give you 10 shots, and you'd have to shoot 2 of the ducks as the last shots. So the match director, Larry, decided start with the ducks. So you're going to start with the first duck, go to the KYL, second duck, KYL, third duck, KYL, and so forth. I want you to read very carefully what this says. It doesn't say that you're going to engage those troop line targets near to far, right? But that's the way we had to engage them. And I believe that's what the RO said. But I'm going to tell you, if you read this, as 2 of our teammates did, they read these targets at the bottom, and they thought the targets went DTORFL. Okay? They didn't read it as DOFTRL, near to far. So you have to read the instructions, and then you have to ask the questions at the stage brief. The question, now luckily, I had near to far in my mind for some reason, and so that's what I went with. But I believe when we got there, the gentleman did say it's near to far. Maybe people didn't hear it, or you need to ask though, right? What is the order here? Is it near to far, or is it the order of TDORFL? Make them tell you what you're supposed to shoot, because here's what happened. Those 2 gentlemen got on here, shot the 49-yard duck, went to the 125-yard duck, or went to the KYL, hit, went to the 125-yard duck, hit it. Hit it. No one said a word. There was no impact. And one of them even said, that was an impact. Nope, that's all we could say. No. They came back to the KYL, then they literally went to the 72-yard duck and shot it, and that was out of sequence. That wasn't an impact. And one of them actually turned around just like this to us. He turned around and he said, what? And then it hit him and he went, so then he went back to the KYL, then he got on the 4th duck, I think, and then he was on track. But he timed out, so it was a waste of time for him. So the whole thing of this stage is you got to read the stage brief, and you've got to figure out what order to shoot things in, right? So let's do a little shooting here. The wind's really kicked up today, so who knows how we'll do. This was a 11 point stage. I don't know that we'll shoot all of them. Maybe we'll go out to F or something like that and see how we end up. Well, let's just shoot this. And then I also want to tell you about some things I saw some other guys do. So let's get into that. One other thing I saw, we were done before some of the other squads, and I was watching a squad shoot it. At least 3 of those squad members did this. Nothing in the stage brief told you that you had to have your feet off the ground. Nothing. And that is a super unstable position. Again, if you don't read it in the stage brief, ask questions. I drove a poor RO crazy over at one of these other ones called the Black Pipe because I wanted to enter the pipe from the right-hand side for a reason that I had. The response was, well, everyone else has been doing it from the left-hand side, so you have to enter from the left-hand side. And I said, it doesn't say anything in here that I have to enter this pipe from the left-hand side. I went and got the match director, Larry. Larry, can I enter that pipe from the right-hand side? Sure. Okay. Ask. Don't be embarrassed. I don't care what anybody thinks when I ask questions. And if you know me, and you know, if you've ever shot with me, in fact, they joke to me at the match briefing, because I will go through a match book and I will ask you the tough questions. Doesn't say this here. Can I do this? What about this? What about that? And yeah, people can get frustrated, but if it's going to save me grief, if it's going to improve my chance of an impact and other shooters who either are afraid to ask those questions or just don't think to ask those questions, then why not? So take advantage of that. All right, let's shoot a little bit of this and see how we do. Okay, let's get ready here. Hit record. I'm going to remember to hit record actually. All right, I'm going to start with the deck, which is at 0. So I've got that dialed. I'm just using one bag. Some guys went from here to here. I tended to stay on this one. So the deal went off. I'm right up on it. I'm on the target. Impact. Then it was 1.9 to the deal, and we're going left to right. Impact. Then it was 0.7 down to Oscar. Impact. 1.9 back to the deal. Impact 2.8, and I'm saying this as I'm shooting, by the way. Target F28, and it's hidden back there, but let's see if we can hit it. Impact back to 1.9. I'm talking to myself the whole time I shoot these stages. Impact. Everyone kind of chuckles at me, and the guys who know me know it. So now we're at target Tango, which is over here, I think. Miss. Back to 1.9. That wind is really swirling. Now to 4.8 for target Romeo, which is down there. Targets were really small. The wind's getting me now. Back to 1.9. Impact, and then finally 5.1 at target Lima, which is over here. Nope. Trying to see what that wind's doing. I didn't really even think about the wind when I went to shoot this thing. It almost feels like it's coming right at us, but I might give it a little this. Nope. All right. Well, what did we drop? 3, I think? 3. And you know what? On an 11 point stage, I would take an 8. I'm happy with an 8. Especially when I saw the other guys struggle with that order, and they were getting 3s and 4s. And I think, again, if we look at the overall hits in the match here, I think 8 was a higher score. I think the average here was probably about 7. In fact, if I can remember when I get home, I'll put that up. I'll start putting average scores for these things, and then my score. But look, again, very simple. Larry Deese, the guy who sets these up, I shoot with him a lot too in other matches. And basically, you know, he always says, I'll say, how you shooting it, Larry? And he'll say, a man and his bag. So don't discount just the simplicity of a bag and the rifle. I will also tell you though, that if you do this, be prepared. If you put your bag here outside, right, then you're coming down on it and you're not level, and now you got this going on where it's hitting, your barricade stops hitting. So make sure that you know where to position that bag, right on the edge. And now I'm barricaded into it, my barricade stop is in, I am on it, and I break the shot. So that's that. If you do have to shoot from here, fine. I could come here with this, I could come here, and again, if I don't have to be up on this thing, this is not a bad position. In fact, this is actually very stable when I'm looking at it. I'll leave the trigger cam on. I mean, if you look at that, I'm really not all over the place there. So this isn't bad, just get what's comfortable with you. All right, well, that was the rooftop stage. Again, had to understand what the matchbook was telling you, and you had to ask questions if you didn't understand the order in which we had to engage the targets. This whole series, a season finale match was about this. It wasn't necessarily about this. It really was about thinking and coming up with a plan and just going through that plan and executing it properly. Well, look, thanks a lot. Likes, subscriptions, comments, love them all. I really do appreciate it, guys. I'll keep sending these things out there. I've got a few more to do. And until next time, shoot straight.